Good afternoon. My name is Freeman Burr. I'm superintendent of schools in Shelton. Obviously, this is a very somber time for Shelton High School, the Shelton Public Schools, and the entire Shelton community. I would like to recognize and thank our Shelton High School administration, its staff, and our support service personnel for supporting our students through this week, and we will continue to support our students beyond today. At this time, obviously, our thoughts are with Christian and his family. With that, I'd like to introduce our headmaster, Dr. Beth Smith, for comments on behalf of Shelton High School in the district. And I would like to thank the media for cooperating with us today. Thank you.
It is with great sadness that we learned early this afternoon the news that Christian Noge, a sophomore at Shelton High School, passed away today as a result of injuries suffered in a community incident this Saturday. This tragic news was relayed to me by the Shelton Police Department. Our entire school community is deeply saddened by this news and in what has been a very emotional time for all of us. We send our thoughts of comfort and sympathy to the Noge family, to my school community, and to all those affected by this tragedy. I informed staff and students of Christian's passing this afternoon, at which time our crisis and support staff were made available to assist students and staff in need. As headmaster, we will continue to offer every resource we have available to our students and staff to help them deal with this tragic news and the loss of a fellow student. I will not be commenting on the details of the police investigation. We will continue to assist the Shelton Police and investigators in any way necessary. My focus today, tomorrow, and in the days ahead is for the safety of my staff and students. Thank you.
We have with us a spokesperson for the family. I'm going to ask him to step forward and introduce himself.
Thank you, Superintendent. My name is Michael Boynton. I'm an attorney for the Ndoye family, and they've asked me to release a statement on their behalf. Today, the Ndoye family suffered the horribly tragic loss with the passing of their beloved son, Christian. A bright boy and naturally gifted athlete who seemed wise beyond his years, will be remembered by all who knew him for the sparkle in his bright green eyes. As the family grieves and looks to their faith to sustain them in this trying time, they request that the media and the public respect their privacy and refrain from contacting them. The family does wish to express their appreciation and deepest thanks to all the doctors, staff, and the entire team at Bridgeport Hospital for their heroic efforts in trying to save Christian's life. The family also wishes to express their appreciation to the Shelton Police Department and other cooperating agencies for their tireless efforts in investigating this senseless act of violence. They remain confident that the police investigation will lead to the arrest of the responsible party or parties. Finally, the family wants to thank the Shelton neighbors as well as all of those who offered their kind, thoughtful expressions of love and support toward Christian and his family. Thank you.
We are also joined by Shelton Police Department, and Lieutenant Robert Kozlowski has a brief statement. Lieutenant.
This case has now been classified as a homicide investigation. It is an open investigation, and police and investigators are continuing to do their investigation using all available resources. Thank you.
Any quick questions that they can...
Lieutenant, are you able just to talk a little bit about, now that it is a homicide, of more resources being brought in? I know you had a lot of resources, just trying to figure it out.
Yes, we've brought in other agencies. Our detectives and investigators have been working around the clock. This is not something that we deal with on a routine basis, so we've brought in the expertise of other law enforcement agencies, including the state police, the Encon police, the Derby Police Department, Ansonia Police Department, and Fairfield Police Department. They've brought in to use their expertise and to use their law enforcement experience because we are going at this full throttle in this investigation.
Why was Christian at that house with his house?
The house, Christian did not live at the house, but we're not going to go into details of why he was there and what he was doing there at this point.
Will we speak at all to possibly threats that were made? Have we gotten any further into that investigation?
We're aware of the threats that were made. It's one of the many angles that we're looking into. This is why it's a very complex investigation, and we have to be very careful because it's important to do the right thing. There's been a lot of people coming up. When's an arrest? Is an arrest going to be soon? Our police department, we want to do it correctly, and we are taking our time. We're being methodical, and we want to do it the right way. And our investigators, our detectives, the investigators from other agencies have been working tirelessly around the clock, and we will continue to do so while we chase down all leads that come in.
Is there a suspect or suspects?
We're not going to go into any details about suspects or suspects at this time.
Any idea where the shots came from?
We had the Encon police out there doing trajectory, as most of you guys know, when we're out there, and we believe that they were fired from the wooded area out there.
Dr. Smith, can you talk a little bit about, obviously Monday the kids came in, found out one of their classmates was shot, and then today, what do you look for as far as red flags about concerns with the student body?
I have an extremely talented crisis team here at Shelton High School. I enacted that first thing on Monday morning. Yesterday we met for several hours and put a plan in place to deal with what transpired today. So I communicated that to the entire school community yesterday afternoon. So when we received the news from the police department today, we enacted the plan that we had already communicated yesterday. And we did a great job with that. We will continue to have our support staff on hand tomorrow to deal with any individual students or staff members that are in need.